everyone. Welcome to The Surf of the Horizon, a place where we experience and enjoy the difficult waves in a teenager's life to thrive. On our first ever episode, I have with me a profound filmmaker who is going to talk to us about chasing our dreams and fulfilling them. Kabeer Khurana. He is a 15-time international award-winning filmmaker and the co-founder of India's youngest publishing venture, Bombaykala Books. Apart from winning awards in Italy, US, and Ukraine, his films have received 40 plus festival selections internationally, including the Global University Film Awards, and have been screened at other festivals in Brazil, Prague, Singapore, Indonesia, Morocco, Croatia, and so many more. Wow, those are quite some achievements, I must say. Hello,
Thank you, Kabeer.
thank you for joining us. So, firstly, I'd like to ask you, how did you start your journey as a creative artist, and when did you know that this is what you wanted to do?
So I started my journey when I was about 7 or 8 years old. I used to write these short stories, and actually started with these stories that I started writing. And subsequently, when I was about 10, I started a club in school called Film Zone, right? Where we used to create these film strips, and we used to project them behind a bottle filled with water. So the image used to magnify. And thereafter, I created a mini projector with a shoebox. And slowly my interest in filmmaking kept growing. And I remember I used to make comic strips, and I used to find different ways to tell stories. uh, Subsequently, I remember the first film I made was when I was about 15 years old. I made a film called What is a Journey, which I shot with my own camera. That film turned out terrible, now that I look back, but it was the first step, right?
Yeah.
And I made my first professional film when I was about 16, called Project Oneness. It was shot by a friend of mine who was also my photography teacher, Sanjeev Walsan. And we went out on 2 weekends and shot the film. And the film went on to win several awards internationally. And that's how I started to get people who interested in my work, who were willing to fund the subsequent films that I made. So that's how really my journey panned out.
That's amazing. And every person, whenever they dream of something, there's a point in their life when they second guess themselves and think that, oh, but that can't be possible. So, did you have that point when you doubted yourself and second guessed yourself?
I second guess myself every single day of my life. I think that uh, each day I wonder if I am good enough. I struggle with an imposter syndrome. I kind of doubt whether I'm headed in the right direction, if I'm well read enough, if I'm competent enough for the job that I'm doing. Because there are always people who are far better than you, and there are always people that you strive to be like, and you are always trying to get better every single day, and that is a healthy way of competing with yourself in order to get better. Otherwise, you'll just stagnate and be where you are, and that's not the ideal way to go forward.
Yeah, so I think it's okay to second guess yourself, right?
Right? It's not just okay. It's healthy. It's advisable.
Oh. And like, do you think as a teenager, sometimes all you need is validation when you're dreaming of something big, and that little push? Did you have that kind of support system at home or your friends when you realized that this is, your path, this is the path you want to follow?
Yeah, I mean, I was very lucky. I was very fortunate to have been brought up in a creative environment, and with parents who supported my dream and who supported my endeavors and everything that I did. So I always had that I always had my two pillars of support, that were my parents, and I had some wonderful friends who kept encouraging me and backing me up. And also so many people whom I collaborated with. I can't thank them enough, because they've really worked for me at absolutely no cost only because I had a certain vision and a certain idea of what I wanted to do, and few, you know, films that I wanted to make, and they came on board, and they channelized their energies and their hard work and perseverance into making these projects come into fruition. So yeah, it has been my parents, it's been my collaborators, it's been colleagues and friends who all supported me, and I can't thank them enough.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think a support system is good to have. Like, that
Yeah,
little push is pretty
I
important.
think, in fact, I think that 50% of success is about the kinds of relationships that you make with the
Yeah,
people around you. And if you are able to make, you know, if you're able to make relationships work for you, and if you're able to, if you're able to make strong relationships that are fruitful, then I think half your job is done.
correct. And like, there are obstacles in everyone's life, and you're on your way to do something. I'm sure you had your share of them, and probably will have a lot more. But would you like to tell us, like, how do you face those milestones, and what's like, what is your journey with them?
Well, the thing about obstacles is that I truly believe that each obstacle helps you grow, helps you, uh, especially when you overcome an obstacle, you've learned so much from that obstacle. You've really been able to, that process of crossing something that has been a challenge for you, and after you've crossed it, you've also grown so much, you've learned so much from it, and that helps you and I think everything is an upward climb, right? Everything is an upward climb, and if you're able to I think if you're able to if you're able, the higher you climb, the more obstacles you'll encounter, and each obstacle helps you, helps you overcome the next one.
Yeah.
So that's really how it works, uh, in my opinion. And I think you should look forward to obstacles, because obstacles just mean learning.
Yeah, I agree. So, since you're already so young and you just got yourself out of teens, do you sometimes feel that you're not taken seriously because of your age? Because I'm sure that happens a lot. Like, if I'm a teenager and if I have an idea, there are many people who are not going to take me seriously just based on my age, and who turn around and say, but you don't have a lot of experience, right? So, how do you react?
In fact, it's been the opposite for me. I've used my age to my advantage in a way that I've been able to, and this is a trade secret I'm sharing with you. This is just exclusively for your channel. Uh, no, but seriously, I think, yeah, I've used my age to my advantage because I've been able to get a lot of, uh, been able to get a lot of perks in the films that I've made and in the projects that I've taken on. I've been able to get a lot of perks by just by just flaunting my age, and just so in to give you an example, when I was shooting for a film called Karma Cafe, I was able to, the only reason I was able to get my location free, because otherwise they would have charged me a lakh or maybe 2 lakhs to shoot in that place, was because I told them that I was 18 or 19 when I shot the film. So I just told them my age, and they said, okay, since you're just starting out and you're young and everything, we'll give it to you for free. So there were lots of times when I actually used my age to my advantage. But there were also lots of times when, you're right, people didn't take me very seriously because of my age. People thought that I was inexperienced, incompetent. People still feel that way because the age does come in the way. But I think beyond that, it's just about telling them. What I usually do is I usually share my experience with them. I tell them that, I've been around for 7 8 years now, which I have. And it doesn't matter if I'm just 23, I can still do as much as a 30-year-old can do, if because I have those many years, and I started off early.
Correct.
So I just share my portfolio with them. I share my experience with them, and then most of the times they're sold, and they're okay working with me, even though I'm young.
So it's kind of up to you to kind of make your age as your advantage and like
Yeah.
yeah, agree. And like say do you ever feel like a failure? I mean, I am a teenager, right? And there are lots of days where you feel like a failure because there are so many better people than you in your own field, right? And so I feel sometimes just starting is the hard part because you're just overthinking at the starting point, like, oh, will I be successful?
I think partly the reason why we feel this way is because of social media. We're all born in a social media generation. We're constantly comparing ourselves to the people we see online who are better than us in music, in art, in photography, in film, in acrobatics, in you name it, right? And
Yeah.
we're I think that the only way to not feel like a failure is by comparing yourself to who you were yesterday, right? If you feel like you've learned five more things than you have than you knew yesterday, then I think that's at least a step forward, and you're on the right path. But if you are, let's say, stagnating, and if you're not growing each day of your life, then definitely there is a problem, and definitely it needs some self reflection, some introspection required from your end.
Correct. And do you think when you dream, it's important to have a concrete plan, like at the starting point, or you just prefer to go with the flow? I mean, like, what's your opinion?
So well, I set 1 year targets, 1 year goals. I don't set anything beyond that. I know that I know that what I at the beginning of the year I plan out what is to be accomplished by the end of the year, and that is where I stop. I don't set long term goals or set long term targets, because life is very uncertain and you never know where life can take you. And if you do set certain targets, maybe life has a better plan for you, and then therefore you're kind of by setting up a long term or 5 year plan or a 10 year target, you're sort of you're letting go of what life you're letting go of what life may have for you, which may be better than what your plan is, right?
Yeah.
Your Maybe life has something better in store for you than what you planned out, or what is in your mind. So uh, I just set very simple targets that by the end of 1 year, okay, I need to make two films, and I need to read X number of books, and I need to maybe write one feature script, for example.
Yeah.
So I set these simple targets that you know which are weekly, monthly, and yearly, but not more than a year long.
Yeah. I mean, so do you think it's important to have goals?
Yeah,
It's
yeah, it is important to have goals. It is important to have. So what I do is I have a notebook in which I set like targets even for the day, right, which I keep crossing out.
yeah, like a
So
to-do list.
like a to-do list.
Yeah, agreed. And lastly, what's your message to the teenagers of today who are thriving to take on the world and chase their dreams?
Well, my my message for teenagers today is that they should get off social media and they should get off their phones. That's the first thing that I would like to say, is that I think it's I mean, while it does have its advantages, it's largely a waste of time. And if you really want to do something with your life, then you need to go out there. You need to find your passion. You need to read books. You need to work on yourself, upgrade, build your life, sketch, dream, paint, create music, create art, create films. Just keep creating and do some magic.
That's a wonderful advice. And thank you so much, Kabir. I'm sure that our listeners loved hearing you and they're motivated to follow their dreams and who they want to become.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Hello guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please comment, share and subscribe. And follow my Instagram page, Surf of the Horizon. Stay tuned for more videos like these.